The notification arrives on a Tuesday, exactly 3 years after our wedding day. I'm standing in the kitchen of our apartment, the one Una chose, because the windows face south and the marble countertops photograph well. My phone buzzes against my hip. I don't reach for it immediately because I'm holding a dishcloth and one of her expensive wine glasses, and she's made it clear which one matters more. Compatibility assessment complete, the notification reads. Han Jiwon and Lee Yuna. 30% match. Alternative partner identified. Tap to review. The wine glass slips. I catch it an inch from the counter. Yuna doesn't look up from her laptop. She's at the dining table, bathed in the artificial warmth of our designer pendant lights, working on something that will make her beautiful friends jealous. Her screen casts blue shadows under her eyes, but even those are elegant. Everything about her is elegant. It's one of the first things I noticed, back when I still believed elegant meant kind. "What was that?" she asks without interest. "Nothing. My hands were wet." She hums. It's not a sound of acknowledgement. It's the sound she makes when I'm speaking, but she hasn't decided whether listening is worth her time. I dry my hands, unlock my phone. The compatibility system went live 6 months ago, a nationwide rollout that promised to revolutionize relationships. Upload your data, complete the assessments, receive your percentage. The government called it progress. Therapists called it dystopian. Yuna called it beneath her. "We don't need some algorithm to tell us we're perfect," she'd said, waving one manicured hand dismissively. But she'd signed up anyway because her friends had, and Yuna never falls behind in trends she can weaponize. The screen loads. My match with Yuna sits at the top, 30%. Below it, a new name, Choi Sarah, 94%. 94%. "Are you going to stand there all night?" Yuna's voice cuts through my thoughts. "I need you to pick up my dress from the cleaners tomorrow before noon. Don't forget this time." I slide the phone into my pocket. I didn't forget last time. They weren't open. They were open. You just didn't try hard enough. She closes her laptop with the decisive click of someone who's said all she intends to say. "I'm going to bed. Try not to make noise." She leaves. I hear the bedroom door close. Not quite a slam, but close enough to feel like one. I stand in the kitchen, surrounded by appliances we never use because Yuna prefers takeout from places with names I can't pronounce. And I think about percentages. 30%? 3 years of marriage and we're 30% compatible. I wonder what we were before the system measured us. I wonder if we were ever more than this. My phone buzzes again. Choi Sarah has agreed to meet. Available times, tomorrow, 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. I select 6 p.m. before I can think better of it. The coffee shop Sarah chooses is nothing like the places Yuna frequents. There's no exposed brick, no Edison bulbs, no menu written in chalk calligraphy. It's a small neighborhood cafe with mismatched chairs and a cat sleeping in the window. I arrive 10 minutes early out of habit, the same habit that makes me iron Yuna's blouses and memorize her friends' names and pretend I don't notice when she winces at my jokes in public. Sarah is already there. She's sitting in the corner, reading an actual book, paperback with a cracked spine. When I approach, she looks up and smiles. Not the sharp, calculated smile I've learned to navigate at home. This smile reaches her eyes. "Jiwon?" She stands, and I notice she's shorter than Yuna. Softer somehow. "I'm Sarah. This is strange, isn't it?" "Very strange," I admit, and she laughs. It's a real laugh, unguarded. We sit. The silence that follows isn't uncomfortable. I can't remember the last time silence with another person didn't feel like an accusation. "So," she says, wrapping both hands around her coffee cup. 94%. Do you think it's real? I don't know. Do you? I think numbers can't tell you how someone makes you feel, but they can tell you when something's wrong. She pauses. My ex was a 31%. I spent 2 years trying to make that work because I thought love was supposed to be hard. Was it hard? No. It was just empty. She meets my eyes. What about you? What's your story? I should lie. I should protect Yuna's image the way I always do, should smooth over the edges, and present the version of our marriage that looks good in photos. But something about this small cafe and this woman with freckles and kind eyes makes me too tired to pretend. My wife is beautiful, I say, and accomplished, and we're 30% compatible. Sarah nods slowly. Does she know? The system sent us both notifications. She hasn't mentioned it. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe. I turn my cup in slow circles. Or maybe she already knew. We talk for 2 hours, about books and jobs and the little things that fill a life. Sarah works at a library. She has a nephew who's learning piano. She hates action movies but loves documentaries about space. Every piece of information feels significant, like I'm building a map of a country I didn't know existed. When we leave, she touches my arm briefly. Can we do this again? Yes. That night, I come home to find Yuna on the couch with a face mask and a glass of wine, watching a drama on her phone. She doesn't ask where I've been. I realize she never does. I meet Sarah 3 more times before Yuna notices. Not because she's paying attention, but because her friend Hyejin saw us at a bookstore and sent what I imagine was a detailed report. Yuna confronts me over breakfast, which is unusual because we rarely eat breakfast together. Who is she? Yuna asks, her voice ice-sharp. Her name is Sarah. The system matched us. The system. She laughs, brittle and hollow. You're actually taking that seriously? You signed up too. Everyone signed up. It's a trend. It doesn't mean anything. She sets down her coffee with excessive care. Are you sleeping with her? No. Then what are you doing? Talking. The word sits between us like evidence of a crime. Yuna's expression shifts through several emotions too quickly for me to track. She lands on disdain. You're embarrassing us. Do you know what Hyejin said? That you looked happy? She says the word happy like it's shameful. With some plain girl in a bookstore, while your wife is at home. You're never at home. I'm building a career. What are you building, Jiwon? Besides excuses to run away? I stand. For the first time in 3 years, I stand while she's still talking. I'm not running away. I'm just stopping running towards something that was never there. Her mouth opens, closes. She's not used to me pushing back. The system says we're 30% compatible, I continue. You haven't mentioned it, not once. Doesn't that tell you something? It tells me the system is broken. Or maybe we are. I leave. I don't know where I'm going until I'm already there. The small park where Sarah said she walks on Saturday mornings. It's barely 9 a.m., and I find her on a bench with coffee and that same paperback book. She looks up. You're here early? Can I sit? Always. I sit. The morning is cool, the park almost empty. A jogger passes. A woman walks 3 small dogs. Sarah doesn't ask what's wrong. She just closes her book and waits. My wife thinks I'm embarrassing her, I say finally. Are you? I don't think I care anymore. Sarah considers this. What do you care about? The question is so simple it catches me off guard. What do I care about? I've spent 3 years caring about Yuna's schedule and Yuna's reputation and whether Yuna's friends approve of me. I've forgotten to ask what I want. I care about this, I say quietly. These conversations, feeling like I'm not performing, being here. Then be here, Sarah says, not because a system told you to, because you choose to. It's the first time anyone has suggested I'm allowed to choose. The weeks that follow are strange. I don't leave Yuna, and I don't stop seeing Sarah. I exist in the space between, and it feels like holding my breath underwater, waiting to see how long I can last. Yuna oscillates between ignoring me and sudden bursts of attention that feel like tests. She asks me to pick up her dry cleaning, and I forget. She invites me to dinner with her friends, and I decline. Each small refusal is an experiment. She notices, but she doesn't crack. You're different, she says one night, her voice uncertain for the first time since I've known her. I'm the same. You're just looking now. That's not fair, isn't it? She turns away. The conversation ends like so many others, unfinished, unresolved. With Sarah, everything is the opposite. We talk about everything and nothing. I learn that she collects vintage postcards, that she's afraid of birds but loves thunderstorms, that she wanted to be an astronaut as a child. She learns that I used to paint, that I stopped because Una said it was impractical, that I sometimes lie awake wondering who I would have been if I'd chosen differently. You could paint again, Sarah says. We're in her tiny apartment, which smells like old books and vanilla candles. There are plants everywhere, thriving under her care. It's been years. So, start small. Paint something that makes you feel something. She hands me a small canvas and a set of watercolors. I got these for my nephew, but he prefers piano. Take them. That night, I paint in the kitchen after Una goes to bed. I don't know what I'm making until it's done. The small cafe where Sarah and I first met, rendered in soft blues and warm browns. It's not very good, but it's mine. Una finds the painting a week later. I've hidden it in the closet behind old shoes and forgotten gift boxes. But she's looking for something, and her hand emerges holding the canvas. What is this? Her tone is careful, suspicious. Something I made? You don't paint. I used to. She examines it, her face unreadable. It's that coffee shop. Where you meet her? Yes. You're painting pictures of places you go with your affair. She sets it down with deliberate gentleness. This is who you are now. A man who sneaks around and makes sad little paintings about it. I'm not having an affair. We've never even... It doesn't matter what you've done, Una interrupts. It matters what you want to do. And I can see it, Jiwon. You want to leave. The accusation hangs in the air. I wait for the familiar guilt to rise. The automatic apology. It doesn't come. Would it matter to you if I did? I ask. She blinks. What? If I left? Would you miss me? Or would you miss having someone to pick up your dry cleaning? That's cruel. It's a question. She doesn't answer. We stand in our bedroom, surrounded by furniture she chose, and art she selected, and a life she designed. I'm an accessory in my own marriage, carefully placed for aesthetic purposes. The system says we're 30% compatible, I say quietly. And you know what? I think it's generous. I sleep on the couch that night. In the morning, Una is gone before I wake, and she doesn't come home. Park Min-ho corners me at work on a Thursday. He's been my friend since college, back when I had opinions and ambitions, and a personality that wasn't shaped by someone else's expectations. You look different, he says, dropping into the chair across from my desk. I'm the same. No, you look awake. He studies me. It's the new girl, isn't it? The system match. Sarah, he repeats. And how's Una handling it? She's not. Meaning? I lean back. Meaning she's pretending it's not happening while simultaneously making sure I know she's displeased. It's Schrodinger's marriage crisis. Minho laughs. You're making jokes. You haven't made jokes in years. Haven't I? No. You've made observations you hoped were funny enough to avoid conflict. There's a difference. He taps my desk. So what are you going to do? I don't know. Yes, you do. You're just afraid to say it. He's right. I've known for weeks, maybe longer. I'm going to leave. The question isn't if, it's how, and how much damage I'm willing to inflict on the way out. That night, I meet Sarah at the park again. It's become our place, this small patch of grass and old trees. She's wearing a yellow cardigan, bright against the evening gray. You're thinking too hard, she observes. How can you tell? You get this line right here. She taps the space between her eyebrows. Want to talk about it? I think I'm going to leave my wife. The words are simple. The weight is not. Sarah doesn't react with surprise or triumph. She just nods. Because of the percentage? Because I can't remember the last time she looked at me like I mattered. Because I'm tired of being someone's supporting character. I pause. Because when I'm with you, I remember who I was before I learned to make myself smaller. Jiwon, her voice is gentle. You need to leave for you, not for me, not for us. If you do this, it has to be because staying would cost you more than leaving. It would. Then you have your answer. We sit in silence as the sky darkens. A dog barks in the distance. Someone's playing music from an open window. The world continues, indifferent to the small earthquakes in individual lives. I'm scared, I admit. Good, that means it matters. I tell Yuna on a Sunday. She's getting ready for brunch with friends, standing at the mirror in the bedroom, applying lipstick with surgical precision. I watch her for a moment, this woman I married, and try to remember what I felt on our wedding day. I think it was relief. She chose me and I was grateful. I should have been paying attention to why that felt like enough. I want a divorce, I say. Her hand stills. She doesn't turn around. Because of the system match. Because we're not happy. I'm happy. No. You're comfortable. There's a difference. Now she turns. Her expression is carefully controlled, but I see something crack beneath it. You're really going to throw away 3 years because some algorithm told you to? I'm leaving because I've spent 3 years apologizing for existing. The algorithm just gave me permission to admit it. Permission? She laughs. You always needed someone to tell you what to do. Your mother, your friends, now a computer. You've never made a decision on your own. I'm making one now. For another woman. That's not brave, Jiwon. That's cowardly. Maybe, but it's mine. She sets down the lipstick. Her hands are shaking slightly. The first genuine emotion I've seen from her in months. Do you love her? The question surprises me. I don't know yet, but I like who I am when I'm with her, and I haven't been able to say that about us for a long time. Yuna's face does something complicated. For a moment, I see genuine hurt, and I feel the old instinct to comfort her, to take it back. But I don't, because beneath the hurt, I see something else. Relief. I knew, she says quietly. The moment I got the notification, I knew you'd leave, because I knew the number was right. You could have said something. What was there to say? That I married you because you were safe? Because you'd never challenge me or leave me or ask for more than I wanted to give? She sits on the bed. I'm not a good wife, Jiwon. I never was. But I liked being married to someone who made me feel like I was. It's the most honest she's ever been with me. I sit down next to her, careful to leave space between us. We were both wrong, I say. I wanted someone to admire. You wanted someone to control. Neither of us wanted a partner. No, she agrees. We didn't. We sit in our bedroom, in this apartment we never really shared, and mourn a marriage that was over before it began. The divorce is surprisingly simple. We have no children, no shared property we care to fight over. Yuna keeps the apartment. I keep my dignity. We sign papers in a sterile office with fluorescent lights that make everyone look sick. I hope you're happy, Yuna says as we leave. She doesn't sound bitter. She sounds tired. I hope you are too. I will be. Once I'm not pretending anymore. It's the kindest thing she's ever said to me. I move into a small studio apartment in a neighborhood that doesn't try to impress anyone. The walls are beige, the floors are old, and I love it immediately. I paint those walls myself over a weekend, choosing colors Yuna would have hated. The living room becomes warm terracotta, the bedroom soft sage green. Sarah helps. She shows up with rollers and an old shirt covered in paint stains and works beside me in comfortable silence. When we finish, we sit on the bare floor eating takeout from containers, surrounded by the smell of fresh paint and new beginnings. It looks good, she says. It looks like mine. She smiles. How does that feel? Terrifying. Good. Like I'm learning to breathe differently. That's the best description of freedom I've ever heard. We're not officially together. We've kissed once, briefly, standing in the park at dusk. But we haven't defined what we are because we're both learning how to be ourselves first. The system says we're 94% compatible, but we're choosing each other slowly, deliberately. Can I ask you something? I say, setting down my chopsticks. Always. Why did you agree to meet me when you got the notification? Sarah considers the question. Because I was lonely. Not in a desperate way. In the way where you're surrounded by people but no one sees you. The system said we were 94% compatible, and I thought, maybe this person will see me. Do I? You're starting to. I'm starting to let you. It's the most honest conversation I've had in years, maybe ever. 3 months after the divorce, I run into Yuna at a gallery opening. She's with a man I don't recognize, tall and expensively dressed. She looks the same, perfectly styled, carefully composed. When she sees me, she excuses herself and walks over. Jiwon. Yuna. We stand in the careful space of former intimates, close enough to speak, far enough to maintain the separation. You look good, she says, and sounds surprised. I am good. The girl? Sarah? We're taking things slow, figuring it out. She nods. I checked the system again. Curiosity. He's an 89%. She gestures toward the man she arrived with. I always thought high percentages would feel like magic, but it just feels easy. Easy is good. It's strange, isn't it? How we can spend years with the wrong person and not realize we're both drowning. We were young, I offer. We were selfish, she corrects. But maybe we needed to be, to learn what we actually wanted. There's no bitterness in her voice. We're both too far removed from the wreckage to still be angry. We're just two people who got it wrong, and we're lucky enough to get another chance. I'm sorry, I say, for how I handled things. The secrecy. The don't. She holds up a hand. We both did what we needed to do, and it worked out. Did it? She looks at the man waiting for her, then back at me. I think so. I'm seeing someone who doesn't need me to be softer, and you're with someone who doesn't need you to be smaller. That's more than we ever gave each other. 94%, I say. 30%, she counters. We smile. It's sad and real, and the first genuine moment we've shared in our entire relationship. Be happy, Jiwon. You too. She walks away. I watch her go, and I feel nothing but gratitude that we're both finally free. Sarah and I make it official on a rainy Tuesday. There's no grand gesture, no dramatic declaration. We're in her apartment, watching a documentary about deep-sea creatures, and she turns to me during a scene about bioluminescent jellyfish. Do you want to be my boyfriend? She asks. Official boyfriend. The kind I introduce to my parents and argue with about what to watch and get annoyed at for leaving socks everywhere. I don't leave socks everywhere. You left 3 pairs here last week? That's because I keep staying over. I know, I like it when you stay over. She pauses the documentary. So, official? Very official, I say, and kiss her. Being with Sarah is nothing like being with Yuna. There's no performance, no calculation. We argue about silly things, whether pineapple belongs on pizza, who has to take out the trash, what counts as being late. We make up easily. She sees me on my worst days and doesn't flinch. I see her frustrated and angry and tired, and I love her more for being real. Tell me something true, she says one night. We're in bed, the kind of dark that makes honesty easier. About what? Anything. Something you've never told anyone. I think about it. When I was married, I used to imagine conversations where I said what I actually thought. I'd plan them out, rehearse them. But I never had them. Why not? Because I was afraid she'd realize she married the wrong person. And now? Now I think I married the wrong person. But I'm glad I did, because it taught me what right feels like. Sarah is quiet for a long moment. Then, I used to think love meant never being afraid, but I think it means being afraid and choosing someone anyway. Are you afraid? Terrified. You're the first person who's ever seen all of me. What if that's not enough? I pull her closer. What if it's everything? We fall asleep like that, tangled together, choosing each other in the dark. 6 months into our relationship, Sarah takes me to meet her parents. They live in a small house in the suburbs, the kind of place where neighbors know each other's names, and kids ride bikes in the street. Her mother answers the door, and I see where Sarah gets her warmth. "You must be Jiwan," she says, pulling me into a hug before I can bow properly. "We've heard so much about you." "All good things, I hope." "Mostly." Her father appears behind her, stern-faced but with kind eyes. "She mentioned you're divorced." "Appa," Sarah protests. "It's okay," I say. "Yes, I am. It ended about 8 months ago." "Are you over it?" It's a direct question, the kind Yuna's parents never would have asked. They were too concerned with appearances to care about substance. I appreciate the honesty. "I'm over the relationship. I'm still learning from the mistakes." He nods, satisfied. "Good answer. Come in. Dinner's ready." We eat at a table crowded with dishes, the kind of meal that takes hours to make and minutes to devour. Sarah's mother asks about my work. Her father wants to know about my hobbies. They treat me like a person, not an accessory to their daughter's life. It's startling and wonderful. "He's good," Sarah's mother says to her daughter, as if I'm not sitting right there. "I like him." "Iyama," Sarah groans, but she's smiling. "What?" "I'm allowed to approve." She turns to me. "Our daughter has very good taste. Don't mess it up." "I'll do my best." Later, Sarah and I walk through her childhood neighborhood. She points out landmarks: the park where she broke her arm, the convenience store where she bought candy with stolen allowance money, the street corner where she had her first kiss. "I wanted you to see this," she says. "Where I come from? The normal, boring parts? It's not boring, it's real." "Is that what you want? Real?" "It's all I want." She stops walking. We're under a streetlight, insects circling above us, the night warm and heavy. "I love you," she says. "I've been wanting to say it for weeks, but I was scared you'd think it was too soon or too much or—" I kiss her before she can finish. "I love you too. So much it scares me." Good scared or bad scared? The best kind of scared. We stand there, in her ordinary neighborhood, and I feel extraordinary. Mino throws me a divorce party that's really just an excuse to drink beer and eat fried chicken. It's me, him, and 2 other friends from college, sitting on my terracotta-painted floor, because I still don't own enough furniture. "To Jiwan," Minho says, raising his beer, "who finally grew a spine." "I had a spine?" I protest. "You had a flexible stick where a spine should be. There's a difference." We drink. The conversation flows easily. Work complaints, bad dates, shared memories. At some point, the topic turns to the compatibility system. "Do you really think it works?" one friend asks. "Or is it just confirmation bias? You see the number and make it true." "I think it's both," I say. "The algorithm might be accurate, but the real value is permission. People stay in bad relationships because they think they should. The system gives them a reason to leave." "So you left because of the number?" "I left because the number made me look at what I already knew. Yuna and I were never right for each other. We were just comfortable being wrong together." Minho refills my beer. "And Sarah? 94%? Does it feel different?" Yes and no. The percentage told me we'd be compatible. But actually being together? That's the work. We still argue. We still have to choose each other. The difference is, we want to. "Poetic," Minho says dryly. "Divorce made you philosophical. Divorce made me honest." Later, after everyone leaves, I clean up the empty bottles and greasy napkins. My apartment is small and unimpressive, but it's mine. My walls are the colors I chose. My life is the shape I'm making. For the first time in years, I'm not apologizing for taking up space. My phone buzzes. A text from Sarah. How was the party? Good. I'm happy. Good happy or drunk happy? Both, but mostly good. Come over tomorrow. I'll make you breakfast. What if I want to make you breakfast? Then we'll make it together. That's how this works, remember? I smile at my phone like an idiot. This is how it works. Two people choosing each other, building something neither could make alone. See you tomorrow, I type, counting on it. A year after the divorce, I have a small art show. It's nothing grand. A corner of a community center, 12 paintings, mostly studies of ordinary moments. But it's mine, and people come. Sarah is there, proud and beaming. Minho brings a date. Even some former co-workers show up. Yuna arrives near the end. I see her before she sees me, and I have a moment to observe. She looks lighter somehow. The sharp edges have softened. She's with the same man from the gallery, and they're holding hands. Jiwon, she approaches with genuine warmth. These are beautiful. Thank you for coming. I wouldn't miss it. She studies a painting of the park where Sarah and I met. You've gotten better. I've had time to practice. Her companion extends a hand. Kim Tae-won, I've heard a lot about you. Good things, I hope. Mostly neutral things, which I think means good, in divorce terms. I laugh. He seems nice, comfortable with himself in a way I never was around Yuna. I'm glad she found someone who fits. How are you? Yuna asks, and she sounds like she genuinely wants to know. I'm good. Really good. You? The same. Strange, isn't it? How we can both be better apart. Not strange. Just honest. Sarah appears at my elbow, sliding her hand into mine. Hi. You must be Yuna. And you're Sarah. The 94%. Guilty? Sarah smiles. Your ex-husband is very talented. Did you know? I didn't. I never asked. Yuna says it without shame, just fact. But I'm glad someone did. There's no animosity in the exchange. We're all adults who made mistakes and learned from them. Yuna and Taewon leave after a few more minutes of polite conversation. I watch them go, and I feel only gratitude. You okay? Sarah asks. Better than okay. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Smooth? Did you rehearse that? Maybe a little. She laughs, and I kiss her temple, and we turn back to the paintings that represent everything I couldn't say for years. Sarah and I move in together in the spring. Not because we have to, but because we want to. We choose an apartment neither of us has lived in before. Neutral ground, a fresh start. We paint the walls together, argue about furniture placement, and create something that belongs to both of us. This couch is too big, Sarah says, standing in the middle of the living room. It's perfect. It blocks the flow. There's no flow to block. It's 12 square meters. She throws a pillow at me. I catch it and pull her down onto the allegedly too big couch. We lie there, tangled together. Sunlight streaming through windows we both chose. Tell me something true, I say, echoing her old game. About what? About us? About this? She's quiet for a moment. I used to think 94% meant we'd be perfect. But perfect is boring. I like that we're 94%. It means we have 6% to figure out, to argue about, to surprise each other with. That's very optimistic. You love it. I do. I kiss her nose. I love you. I know. You tell me every day. Is that annoying? It's perfect. We stay like that for a long time, in our imperfect apartment, in our 94% relationship, choosing each other again and again. The system brought us together. But this ordinary, complicated, beautiful life, we're building this ourselves. Outside, the city moves on. People meet and part, love and lose, stay and leave. The compatibility system continues matching strangers, offering percentages and possibilities. But in this small apartment, with this woman in my arms, I've learned the most important truth. Love isn't about the numbers. It's about looking at someone and saying, I choose you. Today, and tomorrow, and every day after. Not because an algorithm told me to, but because you make me want to be better than I was. What are you thinking about? Sarah asks. How lucky I am. Because of the 94%? Because I met someone who sees me and likes what she sees. She shifts to look at me properly. I more than like it. Yeah? Yeah. We kiss, slow and sweet. I think about the man I was a year ago. Scared, small, apologizing for existing. That man seems like a stranger now. I've shed him like old skin, grown into someone who takes up space without guilt. My phone buzzes, a notification. Compatibility system check-in, 1-year anniversary, Han Jiwon and Choi Sarah, 96% match, compatibility increasing. I show Sarah. She grins. We went up. The system approves. Do you care what the system thinks? Not even a little bit. She laughs, and I pull her closer, and we stay wrapped in each other as afternoon turns to evening. The system may have brought us together, but what we've built, this trust, this partnership, this love, it's ours alone. And it's worth more than any percentage could ever measure. 2 years after the divorce, I'm painting in the small studio space Sarah and I converted from our second bedroom. She's reading on the couch, her legs tucked under her, cat sleeping in her lap. This is our routine. Quiet weekends. Separate, but together. My phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer. Jiwon? It's Yuna. I step into the hallway. Is everything okay? Everything's fine. I wanted to tell you something. I'm getting married. To Taewon? Yes, next month. Small ceremony. She pauses. I know it's strange calling to tell you, but you were part of my life. An important part, even if we got it wrong. And I wanted you to know I'm happy. I'm glad, I say, and mean it. Really glad. Are you happy? Very. Good. We both deserved that. Another pause. Thank you, Jiwon, for leaving. I don't think I ever said that, but you leaving gave me permission to want more, to be more. Same. Well, that's all. I'll let you go. Yuna? Yes? Be happy. You deserve it. So do you. We hang up. I stand in the hallway for a moment, processing. Then I return to the studio. Sarah looks up. Everything okay? Yuna's getting married. How do you feel about that? I consider the question honestly. Happy for her. Grateful. Completely unmoved. That's very evolved of you. I'm very evolved now, didn't you know? She throws a bookmark at me. I dodge and return to my painting. A portrait of Sarah reading, captured in afternoon light. It's not finished yet, but I can see what it will become. That's the thing about art, about relationships, about life. You have to trust the process before you can see the result. Jiwon, Sarah says, Marry me. My hand stills. I turn. She's standing now, the cat offended at being displaced, and she looks terrified and certain at the same time. What? Marry me. Not because we're 96% compatible, not because it's the next step, because I love you, and I want to build this life with you, and I'm tired of waiting for the perfect moment because this is it. This is the moment, you painting and me reading and the cat judging us both. I set down my brush, cross to her, take her hands. Yes? 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 1,000 times yes. She laughs, and I kiss her, and we hold each other in our small apartment with its terracotta walls and 2 big couch and the life we've built from nothing but choice and chance and stubborn hope. I don't have a ring, she says. I don't care. Your mother is going to think I'm insane. My mother is going to love you. We have to plan a wedding. We'll figure it out. She pulls back to look at me. Are you sure about all of this? I've never been more sure of anything. And I mean it. This life, this woman, This ordinary, extraordinary love. It's not perfect. It's better than perfect. It's real. The cat meows, demanding attention. We laugh and separate, and Sarah scoops up the offended feline while I return to my painting. In a few minutes, we'll start planning. We'll call families and make lists and argue about venues. But for now, we exist in this perfect pocket of time, engaged, in love, exactly where we're meant to be. I add a touch of light to Sarah's painted face, capturing the way she glows when she's happy. The system said we were 94% compatible, now 96. But the truth is simpler and more complicated than any algorithm can measure. We're two imperfect people choosing each other perfectly, and that's all the percentage I need. We get married in the same park where we had our first real conversation. It's small, family, close friends, no grand production. Sarah wears a simple dress. I wear a suit I actually like. Minho officiates because he got ordained online as a joke and now takes it very seriously. Marriage is a choice you make every day, he says, delivering his sermon with uncharacteristic sincerity. Not because it's easy, but because the person standing next to you makes the choice worth making. Jiwon and Sarah have already proven they know how to choose each other. Today, they're just making it official. We exchange rings, kiss, our small gathering applauds. It's nothing like my first wedding, which was grand and expensive and hollow. This is messy and imperfect and completely real. At the reception, really just dinner at a nice restaurant, my mother corners me. "You're happier," she observes. "I am." "She's good for you, better than—" She trails off tactfully. "You can say her name, Yuna, and yes, Sarah is better for me. I'm better with her." "You're better, period. You smile with your whole face now." I hug her. "Thanks, Iyama." Later, during speeches, Sarah's father stands. "I won't pretend to understand this compatibility system," he says. "Numbers and algorithms and all that modern nonsense. But I understand this. My daughter glows now. She laughs more. She's braver. If a computer led her to the person who makes that possible, then I suppose I can forgive technology for existing." Everyone laughs. Sarah reaches for my hand under the table. "Thank you," she whispers. "For what?" "Choosing me. Every day, even when it's hard." "Especially when it's hard." We kiss, and Minho groans loudly about keeping it PG, and the night continues in a warm blur of food and laughter and love. At the end, when everyone has left, and it's just us walking home through quiet streets, Sarah stops under a streetlight. "We did it," she says. "We did. I'm your wife now. That's so weird." "Good weird or bad weird?" "The best weird." I pull her close. Above us, stars compete with city lights. Around us, the world sleeps. But here, in this moment, we're wide awake, married, in love, ready for whatever comes next. The system brought us together. But this partnership, this promise, this life, we built this ourselves. And we'll keep building it day by day, choice by choice, until we've created something that doesn't need a percentage to prove its worth. "I love you," I say. "I love you too." We walk home, hand in hand, two people choosing each other against impossible odds. The night is cool, the city quiet, and our future uncertain, but we're together. And that's all the certainty we need. In the distance, my phone buzzes with a final notification. Compatibility System Final Assessment. Han Ji-won and Choi Sarah. 98% match. Status. Optimal partnership. I don't check it until morning. Because right now, walking through the city with my wife, I don't need a system to tell me what I already know. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm finally completely home.